I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the country or in the world. Welcome to RBC Stadium Securities Western Showdown curling stadium production here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. My name is Jim Nix. I'm going to be joined by Rory McCusker and Connor Sims on production. And we're really excited about bringing you the A qualifier, second A qualifier here this morning between Matt Dunstone and local Rylan Kleiter, who some of you may not be familiar with, but are getting familiar in a hurry. So Ryan knows a little bit about Ryan. What do we expect from Rylan Kleiter's day?
Well, yeah, Ryland's kind of quietly become one of the best teams in the province of Saskatchewan. They play out of province a lot. So, us Saskatchewan teams actually don't get to play them very much. They pick and choose the tournaments that they enter. So they've had a really good season. They won the Tier 2 event at the Tour Challenge, the Grand Slam of Curling. That earned them a berth in the next Grand Slam as well. I think they won a game at that slam. So they're having a good year. And they were finalists at the Sask Tankard last year, losing to Mike McEwen for the right to represent the province of the Brier. So a good team.
Yeah, no shame to losing to Mike McEwen either. That's another pretty good team out of Saskatchewan these days. So early on here, Dunstone does have Hammer in the first end. Bundled up back there, Matt. Must be chilly out there this morning.
You know what? Once again, Jim, we're seeing a center guard thrown in the first end. I'd just love to see this at the RBC Wealth Management Dominion Securities Western Showdown. That's a bit of a mouthful, but we appreciate RBC sponsoring the event. Yeah, we've seen quite a few interesting first ends, and I just love that trend. This whole you want to keep it open and blank the first end. That mantra is slowly kind of getting outworked by, well, we've had a pregame practice. We know what the ice is doing. Let's see if we can force our opponent into some more difficult shots right away. And so that's what we've seen all week, and that's what we're seeing this morning as well.
Yeah, very nice shot there by Matthew Hall, second stone for Kleiter. Nice little hit and roll. It is Kleiter, eh? It's not Kleiter.
I've always pronounced it Kleiter, and I've never been corrected. So
okay, we'll go with that.
That's what we'll go with.
Perfect. So who's this playing second stone for Matt Dunstone? The new addition?
This is the debut of EJ Hardin. Back with his brother Ryan after a few years. We saw that kind of famous Brad Jacobs team with the Hardin brothers at the front end. They had a lot of success. Olympic champions, in fact. So 10 years later from that Olympic championship, these two are back together playing with Matt Dunstone out of Manitoba. I don't even pay attention to residency rules, Jim. I don't know how any of that works, but you got to wonder how that's going to work for this team. Maybe one of them is officially Manitoban at this point, but Not so
I
sure.
don't- Yeah, I don't know anymore either. I'm not sure I knew when there was rules about it, and that's it's kind of interesting to see sometimes with residency and birthrights now and all that kind of stuff. So you could easily have a team of 4 non-residents playing in a province, which might not be popular to the other people in the province, but would be within the rules. You see the run back here, just misses. Dunstone with a little something going here after EJ Harnan made the nice little angle raise takeout there.
Yeah, Matthew Hall throwing second rocks for Team Kleiter. He's got some kind of curling math wizardry figured out. I know he has a position where he assists with gambling sites on setting odds for curling. So some kind of analytical perspective Mr. Hall's got figured out. Really interesting to talk about curling with Matt.
Yeah. That would
Sees
be
the game in a unique way.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see on gambling and curling in a sport where you can actually quit early. It makes it interesting. I'm not quite sure how the odds makers figure that out, but
yeah, the house always wins, Jim. So
yeah, yeah. I guess that's the key to it.
If they're offering the odds, they're making money off of it.
Yeah.
And as curling fans, we've always we've watched a lot of curling. Oh, well, there's no way this team's going to come back in this game. Well, curling's a pretty wild one. You never really know what's going to happen. So if you find yourself betting on curling, good luck. That's all I have to say.
So EJ Harden with his second shot here in the first. Little tap, raise that up. Does set up a possible double for Kleiter, though.
Yeah, the run double, I think it's a pretty good result. Kind of separated those stones in a helpful way for Team Dunstone with Hammer here. Not playing with a lot of danger. Team Kleiter has that one center guard, but it's a pretty comfortable situation right now. It's going to be a lot of work for Kleiter to get Dunstone in danger. A dead nose run back here might be the thing that flips the end, though.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big shot early in the game here. So this would be, we're up to third stone. So we have Joshua Mattern.
Yeah, Joshua Mattern. Him and Trevor Johnson have played with Rylan Kleiter for many, many years. Good chemistry between those three.
Yeah, really needed to make some contact there, though.
So Rylan was a place kicker for the U of S Huskies in Saskatchewan. He would miss a lot of tournaments for football.
Oh, okay.
He'd always make it back just in time for provincials, just to kick everyone's butt. So that was very frustrating. You'd think he'd be out of practice. Oh, Rylan's barely played this year. That team's not going to be so good. Well, turns out he's a natural. He'd be able to hop on the ice and do his thing, no matter what.
Yeah, that's not fair. Those people that can do everything well. The match, just scoping this out, drawing this out, like needs like an Etch-a-Sketch to do this or something. It's just he's playing some kind of a split here. We'll leave it at that and see where he goes. He's trying to move the one on the center line over to the right of the screen as we look at it here, and maybe roll behind the corner and leave that other one maybe open, but one behind guard and one open. I'm not sure. Really, we'll see in a minute.
A lot of broom tapping going on.
Yeah, there was. Colton Lott moved up now to third stone with Dunstone.
Yeah, Colton, who's represented Saskatchewan before as well. As a young player, he played with Pat Simmons. Settled in with the Manitoba teams. Oh, how good is that, Jim?
I think that's great. I don't think I could imagine that one working out better. Matt's got to be pretty happy with that. See it again. EJ working fairly hard on it.
That just went to the exact perfect spot. Those are the shots that you dream up in your mind. Moves both stones and gets that Christmas tree looking formation on the side. Yeah. Pretty incredible. So a big double.
And you can tell how new the acquisition of EJ is because he doesn't have the matching jacket yet. I'm sure he's borrowed one of his brothers here to borrow for this game, but they don't line up color-wise. They will, I'm sure, in a week or two.
Yeah, not like Ryan and EJ have the same body type or anything either. So I wonder if he's a little uncomfortable in that thing.
Yeah. So nose hit here for Ryan Mattern. Kleiter's going to have a hard time not giving up at least two here.
Yeah, he's got 2 opportunities left to make a double or to snuggle one in a good frozen position. He's going to need one of those 2 things to happen, or else he's giving up 3.
Once again, a qualifier. The winner of this moves to the playoffs on Monday. The rest of the day off. Looking for a nose hit for Colton Lott. Nose are even a little bit outside. It's pretty good. Player looking at the double. Not the easiest double in the world, but probably has to give it a go.
Yeah, the angle on this double is looking a lot friendlier. I mean, when Trevor was lining it up, it was pretty flat.
Really flat, yeah.
And now, as Rylan lines it up, it's actually pretty thin. So kind of unlucky. They didn't get a really natural way to make this. This could just be a hit and roll, Jim. I mean, that gets you out of trouble in its own way.
Yeah. Oh, a hit and roll would be okay too. Yeah, roll over in front of that red one, and even if it wasn't perfect, you might get out of it with no worse than a deuce, if not 1.
This looks like hit and roll weight to me.
Sweeper's leaving. Just never curled enough.
Yeah, that's not a good result. Now Matt's going to be able to put this stone in a place where there is no double, and you're going to be left with a really tough choice in the first end. Do I hit the open one and give up a shot for 3, or do I play the freeze this early on in the game, basically putting the game on the line, leaving Matt a shot for 2? If the freeze is not made, though, Jim, might leave a shot for 4.
Yeah, I don't. Three's a big lead, but 4 is almost insurmountable for these teams, and I think you probably have to pick the 3. I guess not much of a fun choice to make, but
no, especially a good hitting Manitoban team like Matt Dunstone. They're going to defend a lead quite well. So, to me, we'll wait to see where Matt leaves this one, but I think you got to freeze, Jim. It's a very makeable shot. As long as you bury just a piece of your yellow, it's going to be really tough to remove. And if you don't make the freeze perfectly, Matt will chip it out for 3 anyways. That's what you're going to give up in the first place. So I think you got to go for it and make the freeze.
Oh, okay. What odds are you giving me on that?
I'm saying all this before Matt's even put this in the rings. The sweepers are going really hard. Is this going to make the paint?
He's going to be short.
Wow.
That's
massive opportunity missed. You can see Dunstone just kind of staring at that rock, knows that he had a pretty easy chance to lie 3 in the rings and kind of wasted it there.
Yeah, that's a big miss when you only had to hit really the 12 foot. I mean, ideally your T line or a little beyond, but yeah, massive miss. You don't see very often at this stage. Kleiter looking at this, seeing if there's any way he can actually remove one of these stones, and that would be very difficult without playing the run back.
So they're looking at the run back, Jim. They're just seeing if all 3 reds leave the rings. If they bash in that corner guard, is the corner guard going to have enough momentum to roll out of the rings?
Yeah, it's a good question. If you're actually to make contact with the one on the T line.
Yeah, my vote would be no. I think you have to run it in at such an angle that the runner sticks in the rings. So in my mind, that makes the shot not worth it. But
yeah,
they've lined this up for about a minute now, so they know the angles. And hey, these are the pro curlers. We're just the fans sitting at home watching, Jim. So if they think it's there, it's probably there.
Well, I think the thing is here too that it's the freeze is not easy. It's not just your easy freeze to a normal rock. I mean, you got to go buy one. So looking at this, they probably wouldn't be terribly unhappy if they didn't get all 3, but at least got 2 of them out of play, so that there was only a draw for 2 instead of possibly a hit for 3.
They're going to try it out. Here it comes.
On and off.
Chance to save this first end. Gets 1, 2. Stuffs them both. Worst case scenario. That's another thing you got to be afraid of. Every time you're running an opponent's stone into the rings, it's very delicate, and you're only a centimeter away from the place that you want to hit it from stuffing it like you just did. So, not like Rylan missed that shot by very much, but that was always a risk.
Yeah, it's tough, and he's throwing enough weight that it's even if you know exactly where you need to hit it, you haven't got a lot of time to fix anything as far as using the brooms go. So Matt Dunstone with a open draw to the house, basically a little bit better than half the 12-foot. Need full 12-foot for 3 here in the first end of this A qualifier, which would be a great start for the Munstone team.
See, this will get him back in his draw to the button, draw path. No excuses here, Jim. The team knows this line very well, so got to hit the paint here. He definitely gave this one more. Sweepers don't really want much to do with it at this point. But he's got the entire house to come to. They're going to use their own rocks as a bit of backing. That weight was fine.
So Matt Dunstone off to an early 3-0 lead here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown A qualifier. We'll be back right after the break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you.
Our commercial sets have gotten so long, I can go get a drink and go to the washroom and do so much stuff in the ad break now.
I know. So we're back. Rylan Kleiter with some work to do. Dropping a 3-hander early in the game to Dunstone. How does he bounce back from that, Roy?
Well, those first end ones are always tough to reconcile because all curling players at this level are familiar with the analytics and who's up at what end and what that means for the rest of the game. But when you give it up in the first end, it's a bit of a different mentality. Like, we didn't have hammer, threes happen. You're just kind of trying to talk yourself through it and give yourself that normal sort of, it's an even end. Let's make sure we score here. The game is by no means out of reach. Like, when you give up 3 in the first end, it's not as bad as giving it up in, let's say, the 4th or the 6th end. A lot of game left. The ice paths are still kind of, there's some guesswork there. We just saw a draw come really deep into the ring, so the ice is still changing at a high pace. So there's enough randomness and kind of opportunity out there for Kleiter to score 2 and get right back in this one.
Yeah, and like you say, this team is, although very well known and plays at a high level in Saskatchewan, has now advanced that to playing in a slam, winning the Tour Challenge and all that kind of stuff. So So they're not. It's not like it's well, that's the word I'm looking for. An impossible dream sort of thing to get back here. They know how they have to do it and what they have to do. It's just a matter of putting the shots together, and they have the talent to do that. They just gotta use it here. A couple of points is all you really need to get yourself back into the flow here.
So just looking up on curlingzone.com, went to the analytics page. This page will show you a data table of, you can select the seasons that you're looking for and what percent chances each team has when they're up or down a certain amount of points with or without hammer with a certain amount of ends. So I'm just looking it up. With 7 ends remaining, down 3 with hammer, men's teams over the last 2 seasons are 138 and 976 in a win-loss ratio. So to put that in a percentage sense, Team Kleiter, if we're taking the average of men's teams over the last 2 seasons, has a 12.4% chance of coming back and winning this game. So I know that sounds really insurmountable, but it happened 138 times out of about 1,100. So it's not super long odds, like nothing crazy needs to happen. And just to give an example of that, if they were to score a deuce here, go down 1 point, go down 1 point with hammer, they jump back up to a 20.7% chance of winning the game. So deuce is going to help them a lot. It's going to about double their chances of coming back and winning.
Yeah, well, that's great. I don't know if we should hope they know or don't know those stats, but it's well, after this end, I think I would feel much better if I was them, if I got to do so.
Just to put it in perspective, you have about, if you're in an extra end without hammer, it's about a 25% chance of winning the game. That sounds not very good.
Yeah.
But, we see it all the time. We see teams steal an extra end, quite often. So it's not something where they need to do anything special or crazy, but they'll be playing aggressive enough to keep their rocks in play and try to get their 2 points.
Yeah. And the other part of it is that, Dunstone with the 3-point lead, even though it's early in the game, will tend to play a little bit more defense and give you possibly a little bit more of an opportunity to score 2 than you might have in other situations. So he's not too concerned about giving up a deuce at this point with the 3-0 lead, even though it's really early. That's interesting, though. It's great that you can get all of that information at curlingzone.com. EJ Hardin, his second stone here in the second end. Going to get by the top one. He will. He's going to make a double.
That was not the call, just to be clear.
No.
They wanted to peel that stone. He got really inside and ended up ripping the run back. It didn't actually turn out that well. One of the yellows caught, jammed in the back. So
that seems only fair. Usually, just might have rubbed a little bit there. I didn't think it did at first, but looked like it might have
caught the top one, Jim.
Yeah, it looked like it just rubbed a little bit on the top one. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Matt Hall, they've got a stone in the back of the rings. They've got 2 corner guards. This is more than enough of a playground for Team Kleiter to manufacture a multi-end score. Someone's scoring here, Jim. I'd be surprised at a blank.
Yeah, I agree. Guys working hard on this. Got to go.
Yeah, and in the second and third end, crossing the center line like this on a draw is always very difficult because it's going to stay in the good stuff for a little while. But as soon as it gets closer to center in the middle of the sheet, it's going to slow down for sure. So tough one to throw and a tough one to sweep. Really impressive locking that stone on.
Yeah, nice shot by Matthew Hall.
Yeah, both those guards are red though, Jim, and you are looking at one of the best run back teams in the game with Colton Lott and Matt Dunstone throwing the third and skip stones here. You're going to make more run backs than they miss. So you're never really safe behind a opponent's guard when you're playing a team like Dunstone.
Colton Lott with the outturn hit. Looks like probably just a board plus weight on this shot. Expect it to be real heavy.
Colton Lott filling in at third after BJ Neufeld left this team. And it's a fairly mysterious circumstances. I know a lot of people are wondering what happened there. Why is BJ gone? My guess is as good as yours, but Colton's got a very similar delivery and throwing style to BJ, so it's probably a pretty easy transition for Matt, who of course already knows Colton Lott's throw quite well, throwing second stones for this team for so long.
Yeah.
Colton just seems to get better and better each year. You know, he was always a strong kind of junior prospect, but every year Colton gets better and better. And, you know, I think back to when Colton Lott was playing with Braden Calvert, and they were at the Shorty Jenkins Classic in Cornwall, Ontario.
Yeah.
And they were a promising kind of young team, but they hadn't really had a lot of success, and they made the semifinal. It was a bit of a surprise at the time. And I remember him, he was in all his curling gear and he was on hold with Air Canada because they had to change their flights. They didn't expect to make the playoffs, Jim. So they were scheduled to fly out on Sunday afternoon. So he just looks at me and goes, I've never had to do this before. I've never had to change my flights like this. And I said, hey, keep winning quarterfinals and you'll have to do it more often. So I just thought that was a funny moment. That would have been about 6 or 7 years ago. And since then, Jim, he's played deep into Sunday quite a few times.
Yeah, for sure. So the left-hander, Joshua Matern. Playing the same shot down to the back one. Or no, I guess not. Playing maybe off the top one. A little hit and flop.
That's a really nice shot. That's what needed to happen at some point. I bet they wish they pushed it just a little bit further so they were third shot. I don't think they are.
No, but you're right.
Really tough to say. If he did get third shot, it's absolutely perfect. That exchange needed to happen at some point this end for Kleiter. So to make it early on, nothing wrong with that. Very promising scenario for Team Kleiter. This is looking like it's the mess that they wanted. For one, they've got a lot of rocks in play. They wanted to convince Dunstone to tolerate that. And they got two rocks in good position, good buried position. There's no obvious hit for Team Dunstone. So it's kind of it's basically how Rylan would have drew this one up. Of course, Team Kleiter, coached by the great Dean Kleiter, one of the best curling personalities you'll meet. He's always behind the glass at the tournaments. He's always got a big smile on his face. He'll talk curling with anybody. You know, they're not holding any secrets from the opponents. So Dean Kleiter, great coach, and has definitely instilled a lot of great strategical thought in Team Kleiter.
Very good. Not taking a long time to call this one. Debating whether to try to run the red or find a way around that corner / center guard to do something with the yellow. Colin's starting to seize up in the hack, so he figured he better jump up and go down and have a chat. Wondering if the double's there. If you can get a piece of it, the double's probably there.
Just want to remind everyone, it is Sunday. It is fantasy football playoffs. If you play fantasy football, make sure to get those lineups in. I just had to emergency check mine. Someone sent me a text.
I've never, oddly enough, it's many sports as I watch. I have never got into the fantasy thing. I don't even quite know how they work. So probably just
there's a fantasy baseball league. It's invite only. I'm not in it. In the Saskatchewan curling circuit, and all weekend long at these Sask tour events, guys are just ribbing each other about the fantasy baseball results in this epic league run by Jason Barnhart. I'm pretty sure Sean Meacham is in that league. I think Steve Laycock as well.
I would probably get into baseball before I get into any of the other sports too, even though it's a frustrating thing being a baseball fan of the Toronto Blue Jays these days. Going hard to get this one by. I don't know if he's going to get it by. Not quite.
That was a pretty risky call, Jim, to throw soft weight there. With the run back call, at least you get something out of the way and have a more clear hit on your next one.
Yeah.
That was definitely a riskier call. You're going for the perfect roll there, and they got burned. So luckily for Team Dunstone, they did knock some guards out of the way, and they did push their own redstone into the 8-foot. So that was a bit of a lucky break, Jim. That could have went really bad.
Yeah, very good fortune, I think, on that one. Kleiter's now got to run through a bunch of different options in his head. Tough here because even the one that they just knocked into the rings is not. If you hit it, you're not going to outdo any of the reds at the back even. So it's hard to say, well, let's hit that and roll behind the corner. We'll be sitting number 1, but then you'll be sitting 4 and 5. But it might be really tough to get rid of more rocks.
Still a very good opportunity for Team Kleiter. This is exactly what the type of situation they wanted. The problem is that the yellow double is quite available. If they get rid of this red right now, that's what's coming down the ice. I mean, maybe it jams, but with how hard Matt Dunstone can throw it, you got to think a couple yellows are flying out of the rings. But I don't think you have a choice, Jim. I think you have to address this red stone. The obvious call is a kind of intern, soft weight, hit and roll behind the corner. And that's what Rylan's going to call. You have to accept that there's going to be a double opportunity for Dunstone at the end of this. Just focus on burying this shot stone, this one that you're throwing, burying the shooter behind the corners, making sure that it is unavailable for removal.
And before all the left-handers in the world send us messages saying it's not an intern. No, it isn't.
Oh, that's right.
Actually,
that's right, Jim.
Yeah, Josh was out there.
Oh, my right-hand bias.
Yeah.
It's a righty's world.
Going hard. They don't want to roll too far with this, but they want to roll a bit.
See, in my opinion, there's no such thing as too far of a roll. Rylan was really concerned with getting rid of that the back one, but now they've went and left a triple, Jim.
Yeah.
I don't get that at all. I think you accept the jam in the back of the 8-foot. Make sure you roll that shot stone as far as you can underneath the overlapped corners. And they're so concerned with that red stone in the back of the rings. And now with one rock, Dunstone's going to be able to get rid of these. This is an extremely natural triple.
Yeah, definitely
it's the type of shot that Matt Dunstone eats for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner. It's not the shot you want to leave this guy.
Yeah, I didn't ever envision that one not rolling far enough. I thought that it was when they were going on it there. I figured it must be over curling.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling, knowing that you swept it straight. You left it like that. Again, just really caught up in that red stone in the back of the 8-foot that I don't think mattered too much at that time.
So Matt Dunstone now, with what could quite possibly be a triple when he's all got it said and done. Throwing big weight. Ryan Harden on it, trying to keep it a little bit straight. We'll see where it goes, and there they go.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It really, really easy. Like very naturally, you hit a thick half of that stone, and the double is made. So, yeah, a bit of a dream killer there for Team Kleiter, who had up to this point played a very good end, I thought.
Yeah.
Now the good news is, as long as you have 2 shots left to throw, you always have a chance at 2 with hammer. So, the middle is fairly clear. There's lots of stones to freeze too. They're going to play, I think, a soft weight hit and roll.
Yeah,
force Matt to throw a run back on his next one.
Yeah, that's about all you can do right now, I think. I suppose you could play some sort of a draw to get to the same place, but Rylan Kleiter really needing a big shot here.
Yeah, the good news is it's super available. There's a lot of room to roll to, and you can give yourself a shot at 2 this end. Still a chance to cash in on a really well-played end for Team Kleiter. Yeah, a little bit of a roll. It's going to force an angle run back, I would say. Unless Matt thinks there's room to play a hack weight shot, but you got to think he'll just bomb one down the center line and let the rock splash.
Yeah, I think you can get to it on the in-turn around the long guard, but this shot is pretty near a given for Dunstone, although you seem to be looking at all the more complicated shots here.
I'm loving watching EJ get so involved. I think, once you have that experience of sort of leaving Team Gushu, excuse me, you just know that he was sitting at home really wishing that he was still part of the action. And so to get back on the ice in a competitive environment like this, and on a team where his voice is going to be valuable, EJ would be the most experienced person on this team. And you can tell Dunny and Colton Lott are both really valuing his input. So love to see EJ Harden embracing this kind of role that he's been given on Team Dunstone. And you just know that he appreciates it.
So Dunstone opting for really just a little tap back here versus a removal of the Yellowstone. Bit surprised by that for me, but
most definitely me as well, Jim. I think they're just trying to kind of zoom out. They are up 3 points, but this is more of a tie game scenario type call. And I know it's only the second and there's lots of game to go. So they must think that there's a good opportunity here to lie one in a very advantageous way at the end of the shot. So it's really not a questionable call. I just thought that they would play the more kind of traditional defensive play of running their own Redstone back. But this can work out really well for them as well.
So the Hardens on and off this one. Should be close. Make it curl a little bit more. If the weight's good, which it is.
Going for more of a nose tap, Jim.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the plan or not, but.
Well, and now I'm seeing the genius of this shot. That is a really good scenario. You can't even make the double on the top and still score two. That's the shot that they tapped up is really hard to chase. And there was some room for forgiveness. They could have tapped that at an angle. They could have tapped it right on the nose. There was a lot of ways to make that shot. And yeah, I'm starting to see why they called it now.
I don't know if he could throw the right weight to try to make this double on the high, like over the top of the red and the 4 foot and save the shooter with a little spin into the 8 foot.
I'm with you, Jim. It's just such a specific role, They would have they would have to throw just the absolute perfect weight. And I don't think it's there. I'm with you, Jim.
Kleiter's going to throw the double anyways. He has to score.
I don't know if I agree with that. I know you're playing one of the best teams in the world, and to go down 2 without Hammer is really scary, but you've got 6 ends left after this. I'm of the ilk that, take your medicine, try to score 1. Although, as I say that, Jim, how do you score 1? The outturn.
Well, that was my point. I was thinking, I don't know that there's an easier way to score 1 than this, to be honest. And there's not a lot of places to draw to. Well, he did a good job of that.
Throw. Yep, nice throw.
Very nice shot for Rylan Kleiter. It's, there wasn't much more that he could do, and he did what he had to do and scored his point. And Dunstone will continue to lead 3-1 now with Hammer going to the third end. We'll be back right after the break.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
I think that's
Power line safety.
Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Sitting here being somebody who doesn't have a clue what you guys are going through there. It's like, it sounds so bizarre. It's
Aztec
like,
Safety online course.
Why is that?
Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the interconnectivity and complexity of our systems is jaw-dropping, Jim. I'm sure you get it.
So we are back now. Rylan Kleiter making a double in the last end to score 1 point. And it looked a little better for him early on there, Rory, but just couldn't quite get that deuce set up.
Those ones are so hard to mentally accept because you get a little excited, you can't help it.
Yeah.
Things look really good for us right now. Well, I hope we're still able to score 2 at the end of this. And then boom, after 2 shots by Dunstone, you're thinking to yourself, we're going to be lucky to even score a single point here.
Yeah.
That's curling, just staying mature and not getting too high, not getting too low. Something I was not very good at, Jim, in my playing career.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to do. Yeah. Yeah, that 3 in the first end shook up Kleiter so much his sign even kind of gave out on one side.
Yeah, but, lots of game left. That's the good news. You're still in a situation where you can happily force your opponent with hammer every end that they have it and still get yourself back in this game. So they got to take some solace in that. Force them here. See what you can do the next end.
Yeah. A 1 point swing here either way. It's not horrible for Kleiter if he can steal one or if he could force just a 1.
Yeah.
And then come back with the deuce in the fourth end.
Well, just for everyone joining our stream, we should reintroduce ourselves, Jim. This is Jim Nix, a very committed commentator who's been with us for quite a few months now. Jim, you've been doing tons of games, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
My name's Rory McCusker, and on the switchboard, we got Connor Sims. This is our curling stadium crew working hard for you this weekend to bring some of the best curling in the world to your living room via YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting Curling Stadium.
So Kleiter was shot rock right at the moment. Gonna play the out-turn draw, freeze to his yellow. It's Matthew Hall, who I think holds the broom for Kleiter when Kleiter throws.
Yeah, like we were discussing earlier, Matt's like he's a total curling nerd, big thinker of the game. He's gotten himself a position with Coolbet, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Helping set the odds for curling games. So a very tactical and strategical thinker of curling and a great line caller as well.
Come up very light on that one. Yep. Dunstone will play the peel, try to get them both. Pretty easy takeout to get them both on for E.J. Harnden.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was that light out of Matt's hand or whether something happened to that stone early on and sweepers were kind of left to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So it's going to take care of it. So not much left now for Rylan Kleiter. We'll see if he's going to guard again or if he's going to. He is. So Matt Hall will get a chance to try it again. I suspect it'll be just needs really this almost the same way you just threw. Maybe a bit more. You can see it's a long way to go, but once it gets to the hog line, just before the hog line, they do start to go really hard. Both sweepers way up on the toes. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's without hammer, that center guard's your lifeline. When it goes away, you have to replace it. Even if you're not protecting a good rock in the rings, which Team Kleiter is, that center guard's so important to all of your goals when you don't have hammer.
EJ Harden, short work of that one.
Pretty big stakes here in the third end, Jim, with those two Dunstone stones on the side of the forefoot.
Yeah.
Kleiter's basically guarding for his life right now. He'll be guarding that stone till the end of the end, and hoping to not leave Dunstone a tap back for 3.
Yeah, he hasn't got much of an escape here because he can't really play hit on either one of those. If he does, he's going to have to make the double, and then he's definitely giving up a point for sure, at least, and that's if he makes a double. Otherwise, he gives up more than one. He can't afford that.
So we're likely to see kind of guard peel, that kind of dance happen over and over again here. Just taking taking some time to check the chat. Got a lot of Manitoba curling fans tuning in to cheer on Team Dunstone. Diane Wilson, good morning from Manitoba. Go Maddie and team. Thank you for the time to commentate these games. Well, you're welcome, Diane. Thanks for taking the time to tune in and comment on the chat. A lot of people saying they missed EJ. Angela Thompson, happy to see him back. And Wendy McKay noticed EJ is wearing a white jacket this entire event. He's currently wearing Ryan's until he can get his own. That's what we're thinking, Wendy. That's kind of how it goes in these situations. Also, Alicia D clarifying that Dunstone is already qualified for the Brier, so residency doesn't apply. It's just like Gushu's team. So good note, Alicia.
Colton Lott now with the out-turn peel. Still just going after the peel, not trying to make the run back here.
Yeah, you wonder, Jim, will they ever kind of take on a run back, try to get rid of that yellow stone? And my thought would be no. 2 up with hammer. Pretty satisfied with continually peeling this one. And, you know, if...
Yeah, even though you have a kind of a peeling machine here in these guys, it's... You know, the only way that it gets to be nasty this end is if you try to run it back and something bad happens back there. So,
no, agreed. And the sooner you make that, Jim, the sooner Kleiter either doubles off your red stones or makes a freeze on the back one. So I think you're better off hoping that Kleiter misses the guard and that you'll have that tap back for 3 when all is said and done.
This one's a little deeper.
This is going to be pretty tempting to run back, Jim, because that guard is so low. Yeah, I think they'll take it on.
Going in turn here.
About an inch off nose is going to make this happen, and you know he's going to throw it hard enough to roll his shooter out.
Close.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. Rolls his shooter as well, which is equally important. Not giving Team Kleiter anything to deal with. Nice little kind of spank on the bum from EJ Harden. Again, just love seeing EJ back in competitive curling. You know he missed it, and it's shots like that. Look at EJ's reaction.
And a good hold there, too, by Ryan Harden. It was, curls another half an inch or so. It misses that back one, but he held it there, so that's good. For Dunstone, Kleiter in significant trouble now. He has an out by making a perfect freeze here, but it better be perfect, I think. I'm not even sure that would be good enough, but at least it would be give him a bit of a life here. Tough team to be behind. Most of these teams are tough if you're behind, but Dunstone particularly, especially on the back end. No slouches on the front end, but the back end guys are both blasters. They can definitely throw that high hard one at any time.
Yeah, Team Dunstone had a bit of a regression last year after a few really strong years, kind of post-COVID, 21 and 22. they'll be looking to make some noise at the Brier and the national championships this year. So these big tournaments, Western Showdown, these are good opportunities for them to strut their stuff and make playoffs and go deep. The way they're shooting right now, I would not be surprised at all to see them playing very deep into Monday.
Well swept by the guys there. They couldn't quite get it there, but they did well to take it as far as it went.
Just had one of my favorite curling promoters and organizers, Jeff Mulligan. He's the organizer of the Aztec Safety Challenge. It's the next big tournament on the curling schedule, January 8th to 11th. Really good time of year. It'll be these top teams' last chance to kind of tune up before their provincial championships and of course the Brier that comes later. So Jeff Mulligan, make sure to check out his event, the Aztec Safety Challenge in Lloydminster, Alberta, Saskatchewan. Do they say Saskatchewan, Alberta, or Alberta, Saskatchewan, Jeff? Which one comes first? But yeah, a very interesting tournament and something for curling fans to keep their eye on.
I take it from that Lloydminster is on the border, is it? So what you're...
Yes, it is. It's a border town, dead right down the middle. The main street goes right up the border of Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Walk away, huh? Yeah, that's a big event. I remember I looked last year, and it's like a massive purse, if I recall, and yeah, it'll be a big event for sure.
Jeff is clarifying Lloydminster, Alberta, Saskatchewan. Yeah, definitely fill your tank up with gas on the Alberta side. That's my advice.
So Matt Dunstone now trying to pick this yellow one out. Needs to curl a bit, but should be okay. If EJ Harnan can get it over there, it's close, and he will get enough of it to go. Rylan Kleiter trying to get that red rock out at least so he doesn't have 4 to look at.
Yeah, the freeze attempt from Kleiter just didn't quite get deep enough. It was a fairly easy removal for Dunstone.
Well, the fact that he's looking at playing a hit and a roll here makes me feel a little bit like maybe his yellow one's closer than the red one at the top, but I don't know if that really matters.
Yeah, the issue right now is if you come and make that same freeze, you might not be shot rock, Jim. Like you're going to have to corner freeze it at a pretty aggressive angle in order to get shot. And it is very important that Rylan Kleiter is shot stone at the end of this shot. Yeah. So I think they're kind of forced to make the hit and roll. They'd love to freeze again. That'd be their preferred option, but I just don't think it's going to get there.
Yeah, I see Jeff just confirmed that $125,000 purse in that event. Can't be anything much else that offers more than that. So a big shot for Rylan Kleiter, trying to keep himself going in this one, and needs to make the hit and roll. If he can make a hit and a perfect roll, he may get out of this with a force.
Yeah, it's a pretty big shot, Jim, but, down 2 without hammer, every shot's big at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty relaxed on this stone. They weren't sweeping it very hard, and then right at the end, it kind of took a hard curl, caught the sweepers by surprise. You can see Matt Hall kind of frustrated with himself there, but sometimes that just happens, Jim. The rock jumps, and with that bumper weight, sometimes unpredictable in the way it curls. That really took off on them. Almost made the perfect roll, but this is going to be a fairly routine kind of tap back hit and roll for 2 or maybe 3, like you were saying, Jim, if that top red is out counting the yellow.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That looked like that was going to be just absolutely perfect. Matt Dunstone with a chance for a multiple score here. Could be looking at getting 2, possibly 3, depending on the situation with the 2 rocks biting in a 12-foot.
Yeah, I know we're supposed to stay unbiased and not make predictions, but this will put the game away. I mean, going up 3 points, going up 5 points after 3 ends. The teams will play out N4, and Kleiter will really sell out for a big score. But this is a shot for the game right here.
Yeah.
Matt Dunstone, fairly unchallenged so far. His shots have actually been quite easy. Hard work from his team in front of him. Really well thrown. Gave it to the sweepers, let them manage that.
Yeah,
I think it is 3 points, Jim.
So it's looking like a 3, another 3. They're just going to have a look to confirm that. Just hang on 1 second, see if we can confirm. Now, Kleiter's team will have a look, see if they agree. Dunstone thinks it's him, or Colton Loth thinks it's them. And see if we can get a decision here.
Well, get the stick, boys. You've looked at it for 10 seconds. It's 10-second rule in my mind. No sense in staring at the same thing over and over again. Go get the twig.
We can probably go to commercial here if you like, guys, and we can come back and find out the results of the measure afterwards.
Yeah, either way. Up to Connor. What will Connor decide?
Okay.
There's no harm in sticking around as well, Connor.
Well, we got the stick.
Yeah, it's a good chance for me to have some fun with these cameras. So not only am I your color commentator this morning, I am operating the cameras. They've been a little glitchy for me this morning, but let's see what I can do here. Give us a good view of the measurement. Might just end up seeing some butts of curlers. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Colton's gonna obscure our view. Oh no, there we go.
This might be the first time we ever had a chance. Colton, get out of the way. I don't know.
I think that's it's tough to say. They kicked it so quick.
All right. Well, somebody hang a score.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Please.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
seems like an insurmountable lead. That's actually a pretty big point, Jim. Like being down 4 versus 5, it still gives you hope that if you score 3 right here, you're going to keep the game within reach. If you're down 5, 3 points really only kind of puts you back to where you were, which is 2 down without. And in the second half of the game, that's not going to go so well. So a score of 3 here for Kleiter still makes the scoreboard math a way that they can still force their opponent every time their opponent has hammer and still get out of this game with a win. So it's a big point.
Certainly. 2 corners went up by Kleiter.
And sorry, Connor, I just got to say my cameras are pretty frozen up right now. So I think I'm just going to lock them off and it'll be you switching, Connor. Yeah, they're not even responding to me trying to put them back to the home and away end, Connor. So we'll try to deal with that.
It's Rylan Kleiter now. I'll try to play a little tap and roll behind that corner guard in front of the back red one.
Oh, right as I said that, Connor, I think one of them came back. So should be good to follow these slides. Let's show them off. Get right in there. Get the TSN angle. Just want everyone to know, tuning in right now, we got 1,400 people watching right now. Thank you so much for supporting Curling Stadium on YouTube. That's our mission, to provide free curling coverage to all the fans across the world. And with your support, we can run these ads during the commercials. Please do go to the websites and support the people who advertise on Curling Stadium. It's really what makes the world go around here. And with that income, we're able to upgrade cameras, put better mics out on the ice, and just improve the coverage overall for everyone. So if you should feel as you tune into Curling Stadium that you're part of something, because you really are. You're making all of this work for us, and we appreciate all of you viewers so much.
So Rylan Kleiter was actually playing, I thought he was playing a hit and roll in front of the red. He was actually just playing the draw to the red, which was a very, very nice shot. Fortunately, this red one, the corner guard is...
Yeah, as I was yapping there was a really nice freeze made on the red on the side of the tee line. It's just such a good positioning for that yellow stone. It's got nowhere to roll but inside, and it's gonna allow Team Kleiter to play on the other side of the center line, kind of build something behind the corner guard setup. They're just wondering right now, is it time to kind of click the yellow stone? And yeah, you can even see Rylan kind of raising his hands. He thinks it might be time to separate those two. Mission number 1 is you got to get your shooter into a good spot where it's going to be difficult to remove. So anything else beyond that's going to be bonus. You can see Matt Hall's going to skate his way down and see if he can contribute.
So correct myself. I've been calling Rylan Kleiter Ryan Kleiter. It's okay yesterday because I was calling Rory Ryan. So it's I'll get it straight from here on out. I just heard you say the first name and realized that that's not what I've been saying. So I looked it up, and sure enough, I'm not saying it right.
That's okay, Jim. You've been doing lots of games. I'll forgive you.
It's an interesting call here. I'm not sure what's the best call. I don't know that you have to move that one on the top of the forefoot unless you're going to get something good out of it.
Yeah, I think with this many rocks left in the end, Jim, your priority really is just your shooter. The one you're about to throw has to be in a good spot.
Yeah.
So whatever happens beyond that is a bit of a bonus. Just checking in on the chat again. We got Susan Zeiler watching from Saskatchewan. Good morning from SK. Good luck, Team Kleiter. Catherine Erickson, this is one of my favorite things. Catherine, good morning. She's traveling, so it's nice to have a game to watch go Dunstone. Nothing better than having Curling Stadium on your phone in the passenger seat of a road trip. That'll really make the time fly. Doris Russell, hello from Newfoundland. Let's go Team Dunstone. Doris, Newfoundland is the talk of the curling world right now. That Grand Slam in St. John's was an absolute party, and the crowd was so energizing. I think anyone who watched that slam is really proud of Newfoundland and their curling fandom.
Well, that's a great shot. Holy
Perfect
cow.
roll here, Jim. Perfect roll.
Yeah. Matt Hall with a beauty, really. It was took a long time to decide whether they should play that, and obviously it was the right decision. It was a great shot. See it again.
Yeah, those ones where you take a long time to discuss the shot, it's always, I don't think it's very performance enhancing. The longer you take to discuss a shot mid-end, the more like you are to miss it. So really nice to see him make this absolutely perfectly after they had the discussion of exactly where they wanted to put the rock. Those are dead even. There's no double available at all.
So we'll see what Dunstone's decided here. He might have decided just to blast this side out. Colton Lott looking to eliminate the yellow stone here that's frozen to his own red.
Yeah, Team Dunstone does have enough of a lead that giving up 2 is not going to be that big of a deal. So just eliminating 1 stone at a time. Did he pick that clean?
Well, it did. It touched, but I think it had to touch. I don't think it was possible for it not to touch.
It's incredible.
See
I
this
don't know
again.
if that was the best thing. I think Team Dunstone actually may have preferred to lose that back red one. It's just something for Kleiter to use.
I would think so too.
That stone went sideways. Really impressive.
Kleiter's, that's just good imagination here. Going to go to the, well, for Josh, it's in turn, but going to the draw around the outside corner guard. The only way you could get a second rock buried.
Going out way out into the weeds here. These are always a little scary to throw. You just never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, over curled on them. I think the weight was good.
Yeah, what I've seen so far, the few times that I've seen people go way out there and try that shot, and I was mentioning in the earlier broadcast that the draw weight seems to have been the same. Like it's surprising that it's been so good out there. In a lot of curling clubs, you get out past that edge of the middle of the 12-foot kind of area, somewhere there, it gets pretty heavy and nasty to try to make shots, but not the case. Just needed a tiny little bit more ice there, and he would have been fine.
That's a really good point, Jim. Usually when you get outside of the established draw paths, you get like some fresh pebble, maybe is what you'd call it.
Yeah.
But here at Swift Current, Jason Broughton, head ice maker, very experienced ice maker. He's been doing this a long time. And his crew that he's trained up really well, yeah, they've established some very predictable and consistent ice conditions. One of the reasons why the Dominion Securities Western Showdown has become such a popular event is the ice conditions that Jason's been able to create.
Colton Lott looking to run back the red here. Red on yellow, and it's all gone. And for Rylan Kleiter, there's just not much left to work with. Oh, he does have 1 rock still hanging on at the back. That's helpful.
Yeah, that one hanging on is a huge stone. But overall, that was a magic shot from Colton. Really unlucky the way those corner guards kind of lined up for Team Kleiter.
Yeah.
Missing that draw. Not only did he miss the draw and not get his stone in the rings like he needed, it rearranged those guards so that type of result was possible.
Kleiter looking to use the only rock that he can use. Try to get one behind the corner guard. And serious corner, too. It's way over there, but that's fine. Just got to get it in there.
Yeah, I think I like this call. Drawing around the wide corner is tempting. You know that you only have one real guard to use, so you want to use it. But we're getting pretty late in the end, and this red stone needs to move eventually. So not sure how long they can leave it there. I don't know if Matt's ever really going to give them a double. So not a bad attempt, but they come up a little light, and it does look like there is a double available for Matt Dunstone. So unfortunate there. It's a tough shot. There's only one way to make it. You have to lock it right on that red one. So unless you get there, it's a bit of a miss.
Yeah, they're very powerful sweepers on this Kleiter team. Just a couple times they've just been a little tiny bit behind the necessary time to start sweeping, I think. But they are powerful. They're both up on the toes. They can't get any more weight down on it, that's for sure.
That's always kind of been the MO of this Kleiter team. They've had very powerful sweepers. Even in juniors, Matthew Talon was their longtime lead, one of the most powerful sweepers I've ever seen. So Matt kind of put competitive curling aside for a little while, but Josh Mattern and Trevor Johnson, no slouches themselves. They're very, very powerful sweepers.
Dunstone now will be attempting to make the double. Pick the back one off the 12-foot. The way the day's been going, he'll probably make this with no trouble. He did not. So tiniest of breaks. Yeah.
Commentator's curse live in action, Jim.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that result either. Matt was going for the double, and to go for the double, you would have had to put it pretty close to your own red. So
yeah,
that's the advantage of playing that freeze, Jim, is that you did coax Matt Dunstone into removing his own red stone. And that's what you're going for as soon as you made that call. So it's kind of mission accomplished for Team Kleiter. They're going to be able to lie to fairly separated. There is nowhere you can put this where there's going to be no double for Team Dunstone. So you know he's going to throw it. I think you're just going to try and get as much outside roll as possible, make the slash double as difficult as possible. But you've got your multi-score end brewing here. For once, it's actually kind of worked out for Team Kleiter.
Yes, and that psychological warfare that they put in there can only go so far.
Yeah, it's been an okay game for Team Kleiter, just a few shots here and there. Like they've had a pure miss every end that's really kind of bit them.
Well, even the end they gave up the 3. I mean, it was not a bad looking end for them at all. Just they end up with the last one ends up in a bad place or couldn't end up in any worse place, and there's a triple. So
yeah.
I agree. It hasn't been that bad a game.
All right, fairly long double, but nothing out of the ordinary for Matt Dunstone. These are the shots that Matt has become famous for over his junior career and into his competitive men's playing days. True to his Manitoba roots, that very forward slide and kind of firm weight shots. Missed the last one. I'd expect him to make this.
Needs this to prevent a deuce. And he's got one, and he doesn't get the other one. Jams the back one.
Just a bit of a missed sweep there. Held out some hope that it would curl up to make it the straight way. Turns out Colton Lott should have had them on this a little earlier and went the backwards way. So just made their decision a little too late.
So Rylan Kleiter now with just a draw to the house for 2. Make it a 5-3 game. You never know. Steal the 5th and you're right back in this thing. Or at least on the way to being back. He's just cleaning here. Should be okay. Nobody looks too worried, so Rylan Kleiter with a nice draw for 2 here in the 4th end. We'll get within a couple of Matt Dunstone as we go to the break. Dunstone leading 5-3 here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
So we're back. Jim next with Rory McCusker, bringing you the A qualifier here between Matt Dunstone and Rylan Kleiter. Kleiter trying to crawl his way back in this one. Did manage to pick up a deuce in last end to get to 5-3. So staying alive and only a shot or two from being right back in this. Needs probably to score here, or at least no worse than forced to a 1.
Yeah, it was a good fight back from Kleiter. They would have loved 3 that end, but a 2 keeps them in the conversation. The big problem now, Jim, is that they're running out of time, running out of ends to make this work. So I think they're still in a situation where they can be happy with a force. So that always gives you a bit of hope, but that's just what they need.
Here in the 5th, lead for Dunstone. His second shot here in the 6th or 5th rather. Kleiter with a couple of center guards up.
Just checking the chat. It looks like I got my Colton Lott story wrong. I said he was playing with Braden Calvert in 2018 at the Shorty. This is Pele Lindbergh is telling me that is incorrect, and I believe Pele. I forget who he was playing with, but they did make a semi at that Shorty Jenkins in 2018, and I'll never forget him holding his broom on the phone with Air Canada, trying to figure his flights out. Surprised that he made the semifinal, but either way, that's a great tournament as well, the Shorty Jenkins Classic in Cornwall. Great little curling town, Cornwall, Ontario. Lots of fans in the building. So if you get the chance to check out the Shorty Jenkins Classic, it's a very fun time.
Yeah, formerly in Brockville, I think. It used to be in Brockville back many years ago.
Oh, okay.
And moved to Cornwall. It's been a
Kind of a chip. I'm not sure if that's any good. Without hammer, I can't see that stone being very useful.
No, I agree. I'm still going to throw the peel here. Looking at the other yellow one, so he may try to pick that up on the way by.
Sorry, Connor, I'm getting some glitch on that home camera again. Oh, is that ever a disaster?
All of a sudden,
they got greedy, tried to get 2 yellows out of the way, and that did not work out very well for them.
No, you see this again.
That's hard to do, Jim. They would have had to just barely chip the outside.
Yeah, you
yellow.
have to make very little contact with it. Yeah.
Well, dream come true for Kleiter. There's their good one, as they would say. You always are trying to make a good one when you're trying to steal. And this time they didn't have to draw it there. Matt Dunstone bashed it back there for them. So
yeah, it was going to take 2 of their shots just to get shot rock there, even if they made him perfect. So pretty good.
The commentator's curse is alive and well, Jim. It was right after I said that rock's no good.
Yeah. Well. I don't know why they put that guard there. I don't know why you wouldn't attempt to guard at least the back one a bit.
But yeah, Matt's going to deal with the center guard, which you got to think is the bigger issue. But man, it'd be tempting to lie too and get rid of this one on the button, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I guess you're thinking if you leave the guard, Team Kleiter is going to draw in and just make a better one on their next shot anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, from the Kleiter side, I just figure that's pretty darn good. You got a half a rock on the button. So EJ Harden now playing the run. See if they could fare a little better this time. Didn't quite catch the back one, but did set up
another bit of unlucky result there. So they just barely miss both yellows and leave the shooter in the outturn draw path. So that's an obstacle that may come into play later in the end.
Looking like he'd like to be a little bit beyond where they were. So still in contact with the center, but maybe just kind of hanging on to it on the over curl. The yellow and red aren't lined up on the back yellow really. So if you can be have your guard a little bit on the over curl here, that they can't do a lot with that.
Just want to take this time to say we've got 1,400 people concurrently watching this game. We've got 1,300 people concurrently watching the Fujisawa versus Kate Cameron quarterfinal. 300 watching the Skurlik versus Englot game. Another 130 watching Delaney Strauss take on Corinne Brown. 100 people watching Xenia Schwaller and Kayla McMillan. Just want to express my gratitude and appreciation for everybody who tunes into Curling Stadium, supports what we do, and shares with their friends and family the links and likes and subscribes to our pages. It's pretty incredible how we've grown, and just want to express my gratitude to everyone who tunes in and spends their Sunday with us.
So another peel attempt coming, this time from Colton Lott. Gonna run it back.
That's a perfect result. Gets 2 out of the way, rolls his shooter, and finally a bit of luck for Team Dunstone. Loads up that angle on the corner guards. If anything got too scary in the forefoot, now Matt has that kind of loaded up run back on the corner guards to use.
Yeah, this time pretty good result for sure. They just, that yellow one was lined up on the red, so it was difficult for them to use the red at all. Put it back right where it was. Wouldn't probably be bad.
Team Kleiter very aware that Dunstone will have a short run back if they straight guard their yellow stone in the 4-foot. So they keep putting the guard right on top of the red one, knowing that later on they'll want to make a better one in the 4-foot. So using the kind of the long view, using making sure that he understands that later on Rylan's shots is where the magic's going to happen. Guarding the Yellowstone right now isn't quite as good. So straight guard on the red stone, tempt Dunstone once again to address the rock in the 4-foot, and then you might have a better situation to draw around.
Yeah, I would agree that at this point now with the other one gone, and that's definitely the side you got to guard. Keeps going. Got about 3 options here.
Yeah, a bit of an overcurl on the guard. So Colton's last stone. Matt's just wondering, like, has the time come for us to address this rock in the rings? And looks like it is.
Colton lot. Final stone for Colton in the 5th here. Looking to play a hit and a little flop. It's going to be good. Not going to roll very far, though.
Yeah, not a great result. It's something for Kleiter to use. They can tap that back. They can get a little chisel and roll in. Kind of wanted to roll that either wide open or right to the center line.
Yeah. I think Rylan's right. I think if you're going to roll that way, you've got to get a little bit past the red rock in terms of preventing the little raised takeout. Show a little bit of it outside. It's unfortunate because Claire had a pretty good rock there, had half of the button, but as soon as they made the other one and peeled that yellow off the top of the red at the top of the house, it just changed what he had to do. But a good chance here to at least get one back in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a great result. Down 2 without, to have this many guards, that Dunstone situation blocking the draw path, to have rocks to play around with. This is a good situation for Team Kleiter. They're happy with this. This one's really got to move. You got to bury a piece of this. Can't show Dunstone any yellow.
Going really hard to get it over there.
Really nice sweep. It's a beautiful shot.
I think a perfect roll. I think that's where he had to get to on that shot to have any chance of Matt not being able to make the raised takeout.
Yeah, it's right in the safe zone. You had to almost overroll that to the point where the red slash wasn't available. So really nice carve sweep here. You can see the feet just floating. All the weight is on the broom.
Good shot. So Dunstone running the, I say running, I don't know if he's playing a straight peel or running this back, but I assume he's probably running it back. Colton having a look back there.
All right, Connor, I've got my my cameras back working well again.
Big shot here, probably as much for the Kleiter team as for the Dunstone team. Kleiter can get a miss out of Matt Dunstone here. It would be a possible steal attempt. So it did only get the single guard.
It's one of those games, Jim, where Matt's been kind of untested on draw weight. He threw that one draw for 3, but you know, as Kleiter fights their way back into this game, you know, Matt's draw weight, Matt Dunstone's draw weight's kind of been on the shelf for a few ends. So you know that if you can ever make him face a couple, you're gonna have a chance.
So Kleiter contemplated for a while there, putting a second stone in, drawing around that to the back of the 4-foot kind of thing, and looks like he settled on throwing the guard and give Matt the draw to the 4-foot, full 4-foot. He needs every bit of the 4-foot to score. So Rylan Kleiter with a chance, or Kleiter rather, with a chance to maybe get one step closer in this one. He's a good guard here for starters, and then we'll need a miss out of Dunstone, which I'm not expecting to get too many misses out of Matt Dunstone, but you're down 5-3 without. You're going to have to get some misses somewhere. Might be a little warm. I think you should be okay for weight. It's just the sweepers can't really do too much yet because it's...
Yeah, this is a line shot. You just got to put it in the right spot vertically. The depth isn't as important.
I think
they get it there. I mean, that's going to do the trick. I don't think there is a red on yellow promotion. If there is, it's really specific.
But I'll tell you, the again, we talked about it earlier. The sweepers are the sweep combination call. However they manage their sweeping there, they just about didn't get that one over enough to cover the raise takeout.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, you know, I know you can't take it too deep, but another foot would have been fine to make sure you
Heads
had
up, Connor. Heads up, Connor. The scoreboard's doing its glitchy thing. If you can update that. There we go.
End of the day here, I think Matt Dunstone will play the draw. Looks like they're being a little tempted by the fact that they left half the red one open, or a third of the red one open.
Yeah, it's interesting. And so let's go back to the curling zone analytics chart. So they're 2 up with hammer right now. As of right now, with 4 ends to play, 2 up with hammer. They got a 90.7% chance of winning the game. This is over the last 2 seasons of men's curling. Right now, they're at 90.7. If they score 1, it doesn't really improve their chances very much. They sit at 91. If they give up a steal of 1, they drop to 82.7%. So defending a steal is the most important thing here, according to the sort of analytic chart. And that's going to govern their decision, Jim. They're going to go for 1 point here.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it makes sense for all kinds of reasons to me. The come around tap the yellow out was just looks a little bit more difficult than you need to play at this point. So the Arnon brothers on this one needs to curl and
Good
needs to
chance for
stop.
Matt to test his draw weight, Jim. And like we had mentioned, he hasn't thrown a draw in quite a while. So unsuccessful. It is a steal for Kleiter.
Yeah, so Rylan Kleiter steals one here in 6 or in 5. What end are we in here? In 5th end. So he steals one, gets to within 1 point. Now trails only 5-4 after 5 ends of play here at in the A qualifier at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We'll be back after the break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Game with Kleiter and Dunstone. Kleiter's fought his way back to just a 5-4 deficit here in 6. Dunstone does have hammer. But it's gotten interesting.
It's a big fight back from Kleiter. They've been fighting it since the first end, Jim. They gave up 3, and it's been balls to the wall ever since. So every little mistake from Team Kleiter is so impactful as they take risks and try to take the initiative as well. It's been they've been going hard for basically the whole game because of that 3 they gave up in the first end.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Matt Dunstone's had 3 draws, I think, and he's missed 2. So he needs to get better as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the kind of game within the game when you keep your opponent from practicing their draw weights. It tempts mistakes. Here's Ryan Harden, who they call Pete, his nickname. I've never really understood that one, but affectionately.
Pete, short for Peter, you mean?
I guess.
Okay, I never heard that before. So EJ taking this one around the top 12-foot redstone. Nice shot for Ryan Harden. Nice center guards up there this end for Kleiter, both on the center line. Now look to freeze to the red in the house.
Maybe someone on the chat can tell us the story behind Pete, Ryan Harden's nickname.
Sweeper's working this one a bit. Just needs to clear that top red. And they should be good, I think. Should be right on it. So Matt Hall with another pistol draw.
Yeah, that's a really nice freeze. He's had quite a few of those this game, Jim.
Yeah, he has. That's what made me think of that. And it was, that's just a dandy.
Yeah, as one team is continually hitting, the other team is continually drawing, and that's a definite advantage for the drawing team, and the sweepers especially. I have noticed Ryan and EJ Harden kind of following the Team Kleiter draws down the ice, trying to keep their sense of draw weight accurate, knowing that, at a certain point they will have to give information to their skip about the paths and such. And I imagine that a similar conversation happened with Matt Dunstone's last shot in the fifth end. Dunny just couldn't quite get the right speed on it and sails it through the 4-foot.
So Matt Hall now being asked to put up, I think, what will be another guard. And it will be. Make sure you get it over. Got to get it over. Absolutely crucial to get it over. And I don't think they're going to, are they?
Yeah, really unfortunate. Higher the better, of course, but, to a certain point. It's one of those shots where if it's over, it's perfect. But when it's not, it's worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough one there because they really did have a good end brewing. Still do, Jim. Even if Dunstone makes this, there should be a yellow one in the 4-foot at the end of this. So Kleiter will still have a lifeline. Stuffs it. I don't think that's a very good result, Jim.
No, I would agree. I really didn't think there's any way they wouldn't end up in a better result with that shot, really, when they threw it, but you have an answer to your question in the chat, and I'll leave it with you to look at it.
Yeah, Alicia D establishing the Pete nickname. When Harden curled with Jacobs, Ryan Fry was also on the team, so they started calling him Pete to distinguish from Fry. 2 Ryans. That makes a lot of sense. But why Pete, Alicia? Why Pete? Might be a middle name? Huh?
Maybe. Nice guard there for Team Kleiter.
Just checking in on the chat. We got 1,700 viewers with us. Welcome to the party, everybody. Chime in on the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for. That's what makes it so special to watch curling on YouTube. On when you're watching on TV, TSN, Sportsnet, they're not listening to you. You can't contribute to the conversation, but here on YouTube, of course you can. Let me know where you're watching from. I got Joey Redinger, Joe the Pro, watching from the center of the universe, Chelsea, Ontario. Welcome, Joe.
Good peel for Colton Lott.
Yeah, Team Dunstone's gotten quite unlucky every time they've tried to turn a single peel into a run back or get rid of 2 stones. Just always seems to bite them. So might be learning from their mistakes, peeling one at a time. But really, Jim, it feels like right now we're watching a Kleiter comeback. This is 2 rocks on the center line, 1 in the 4-foot, and they're replacing the center guard. I mean, it's yet another end where Kleiter's got something brewing.
I would agree.
Lonnie Berry chiming in on the chat. He looks like his Uncle Pete. We'll shelf that in the conspiracy theories on this nickname. Getting a little view there on the side of your screen. You can see the fans coming out to sit on the ice and watch some high caliber curling. Gotta love Swift Current. You know, my mom, Joan McCusker, she played a long playing career. She always said Swift Current was a place you knew that the stands were going to be packed. All the locals would come watch the action. There was a very well-attended World Championship here, Women's Worlds, in, maybe 2016. Sounds about right. Maybe someone can Google it for me and confirm that. But that was the coming out party for Team Satsuki Fujisawa. And even though Chelsea Carey had a strong Canadian squad, those Japanese girls, as they do, they're so charming. They won over the crowd. And by the end of it, the Swift Current crowd couldn't figure out who they were cheering for, Japan or Canada, in the semifinal of the Women's World Championship. 1 and 2, and it's another stuff, Jim. They keep getting unlucky with these run backs.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to see this one come here, and there's nothing really to say about it other than they're trying to make a curl here to get it across a little bit and just don't get it there.
It's a total disaster. It's yet another obstacle in the way of the forefoot for Matt Dunstone. So Team Kleiter making the decision that a chip and roll in is the most beneficial here. So on Rylan's first, they've decided, okay, there's enough guards, there's enough obstacles in front of the forefoot. Let's make sure our yellow stones are in really good spots in the forefoot now. So they think there might be an opportunity for Dunstone to use this red one. And now they've changed their mind. They're going to come down and talk about it.
A little chip and roll, I think, is good as long as you roll far enough. Right there, I think would be good. There might be a run double or whatever, but be a really hard one.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to stick with the original call. The sweepers may have had something to say about it. Josh Mattern, Trevor Johnson. But everyone seems convinced that they're on the same page here. Just want to check in on the chat real quick. Nancy Davey watching from Sault Ste. Marie. Go Team Dunstone. Jasmine Harden. EJ has called Ryan Pete since they were little. There we go. And that's coming right from the source. Your last name's Harden, and you tell me about the nickname, I'm going to believe you. I think you guys would be interested to know that our producer, Connor Sims, is located in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario himself. So strong curling community in the Sioux. Connor has to stay unbiased, though. He's not cheering for anyone.
It's a good-looking shot here.
Oh, it's a nearly perfect hit and roll, Jim. Now, may have just showed him a little bit of that out-turn side, but it's really good.
Yeah, you got to admire the effort of the Rylan Kleiter team. No question.
Some more Dunstone fans. Carol Fisher, hi from Shirley and Carol in Port Ellen, Ontario. We're cheering for EJ. Love to see. We are up to 1,800 viewers now. Let's get to 2,000. Send this link. If everyone sends a link to your family and friends, let's get 200 more people in the party here. That way we can say we had 2,000. Dunstone facing a pretty scary situation here, Jim. This is yet another end that didn't go quite the way Team Dunstone would want to manage this lead they have. And you see up on the scoreboard behind Matt, slowly eroding away.
EJ Harden,
a little bit heavy.
Wow.
Gets one yellow one out of the pile, but not good enough. It's another. The door is still open for Kleiter to make another good one. I think Team Dunstone would have loved to leave their shooter right on the nose, right on the side of the forefoot for either later promotion or at least to get in Kleiter's way on this intern. But
Kleiter could actually, with the way that's set up, he could roll right to the button, top half of the button even, and Dunstone might have to play a run back to score.
Yeah, a little
not even score.
frustrating. A little frustrating for Team Kleiter. They would have liked to just draw this one into the button, but they can't leave that roll angle for Dunstone. So I think they got to take it away, make it themselves. So this roll is much more difficult than a straight draw to the button and the side of the forefoot. But I think Kleiter has to do it. Off and on. Feels close, Jim. Gets the hit.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Would have been better off rolling out than rolling there.
That's about the worst place you could leave it, Jim.
Yeah, we all know Dunstone's hitting ability, and I think you just gifted him one here.
It's a really good chance to steal for Team Kleiter and keep that comeback rolling and tie the game. You know, a 4-1 here, though, not the end of the world. I think it's still a good result for Team Kleiter in their hopes of coming back. But, you know, the significance of stealing a point in the sixth end would have been massive.
Yeah, I think if I was Kleiter, I would much rather have seen Matt drawing even just against one here. If he had to draw the edge of the button or something to score, than I would him making this double. But that's what it is. He has to make it. So.
Bangs the one, smashes the other, no mistake. That's Dunstone makes that shot in his sleep.
So nice double by Matt Dunstone on his last rock to score 1 here in 6, and he'll take a 6-4 lead to the 7th end in this A qualifier game in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
And just as I say, they're going to have some trouble drawing. Locks one on
Yeah.
perfectly.
Locks one
really,
on.
really nice shot.
Yeah. So we're going to try to stack it up a little bit more. Matt Hall this time. It's always interesting, these little rock stacking things. It's just it's hard on the head as to who has an advantage sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a peel. So Team Kleiter is still pretty happy that there's rocks in play. That's the main goal here. Keep rocks in play. It's just too difficult to play for a blank with the 5 rock rule. There's just so many things need to happen right. I'd even argue getting the blank is tougher than manufacturing, well, 3 for sure. You have to go for points in this situation. It's really nice to blank the 7th end when you're down with hammer like this.
Well, I think the only way you can do that is if you start off one way and then you get to a point where none of that's happening and you're lucky enough there's not too many rocks around, you can get out of it. But I think it's really, really hard to start and end like this and say, well, we're going to blank it, because there's a good chance you end up getting forced then and you'd be kicking yourself.
Yeah, exactly, Jim. No, just as a player myself, it's not a tactic that works out very often. You got to go for the points. If it falls into your lap, that's another thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Always love tuning into the chat and just seeing where people are watching from. Zachary Wise, curler himself, watching from Montreal, Quebec. Loretta Benoit, enjoying the curling from Nova Scotia. That's where commentator Jim Nix is hosting from.
Yes, we need the odd blue noser in here every now and then.
Are you excited for the national championships coming to Nova Scotia this spring, Jim?
Yeah, there's a lot of events down here in 2026, basically. So we were having a look at this, talking about slam schedules and things like that, and we knew that all of the funding available in Nova Scotia was going to be tapped out in 2025, rather not 26, and so we'll have a look down the road a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. You've had some experience organizing and chairing events yourself, Jim?
Yeah, I chaired both Grand Slams that we hosted here, 19 and last year. So co-chaired it. So we've done a few, but
the 23-24 season has been, 24-25 season has been great to get back on the East Coast. There's been lots of attention on the East Coast with the Slam in Charlottetown and in Newfoundland. Now with these national championships coming to Nova Scotia, I just love curling on the East Coast. Saskatchewan boy myself, I always felt some camaraderie with the East Coasters because both of us don't have a professional sports team really to cheer for. So when these big events come around, the whole town seems to take notice.
Yeah, correct.
Besides, of course, the glorious franchise of the Saskatchewan Football Roughriders, I should say.
Yeah.
Other than that, no professional sports teams to cheer for.
Yeah, we don't have anything as big as that. We do have a professional lacrosse team, a professional soccer team, but sort of different. And I think we actually are getting or have a ladies soccer team. Maybe, I'm not sure. That's nice. All in Halifax, anyways. But I'm not a Halifax guy, so I don't get out to most of those. Lacrosse is an interesting sport. I think I would probably enjoy it, but I can't figure out how you get a penalty in lacrosse, so it just kind of baffles me. Doesn't seem to be possible.
Saskatoon's got a very popular lacrosse team, the Saskatchewan Rush.
Oh, yeah.
It's entertaining stuff. Always good when there's at least like 20 goals scored in a sporting event. Lots to cheer for.
I know. I don't know how they do that. I have like a 2x2 net practically in a goaltender that takes up 4x4 space. I don't know how they ever score, but they do.
They somehow do, yeah.
Guard going up for Dunstone here.
Yeah, really interesting. Hey, like up to throwing guards. It's a weird one, but that's just how the tactics of the last 3 ends have gone. Like skips are so in tune with how important scoring and not scoring and retaining hammer is in 6, 7, and 8. So Dunstone knows what they're going for. They see a tight scoring area in the button and forefoot area, and they want to defend that.
4 rocks to come though. Kleiter could play this if he can get the red one to go towards the yellow, because his yellow the shot probably jams. You might be able to end up with number 2, number 1, number 3, number 4, or something like that when it's all done. Anyway, it could be interesting if he chooses to do that. I don't think he can settle just for 1 here.
Just checking in. We're at 1,957 viewers. So close to 2,000. Let's get there. Send this link to a friend, family member. Tell them you're watching curling on Sunday afternoon.
Trying to work through all the options here. I don't know if there's any great ones, but I think there are some options as far as moving some rocks around that might give you an opportunity to score more than 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Team Kleiter, you got to be tempted by the idea of advancing all of these frozen stones.
Yeah.
The angles are very favorable for yellow. So once you hit that pile, the back red one's gone. That middle yellow on the top of the button, it's going to stick around as well. And both of your yellows at the top of the 8-foot are going to remain in the ring. So, you know, you're really tempted to kind of make that bubble pop, as it were. And I think the way you do that is you run these lined up red guards.
Yeah, I think that's the call for sure. I see the same thing that you just saw. And it, you know, you might need a little bit of good fortune once they hit as far as where everything goes, but I don't think very much. I think that the yellow stays for sure, and it's just a matter of where the top yellows and the red go. But I think you got to play it. I don't see why you wouldn't play it. Besides that, there's not really any draw path available for your last shot to score 2. If you had to draw, I don't think you can make the draw on the intern side at all to the button. I think the yellow's in the way. Oh, he's going to play this anyways. They might be a little bit too close together, but
now's the time to play it, Jim. Like you said, both draw paths are kind of interrupted. There's no other choice. Got to make some movement. Team Kleiter.
Yeah, Joshua turn on this one. He's got it hit it in the right place.
Well, that worked out really well. Really, really well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good result.
3 yellows in the rings, none of them easily removable. Team Kleiter has been building momentum for many, many ends in a row here. Looking to capitalize here in the 7th.
Good shot. It almost dragged past the other one, but it did catch it. Put one behind a corner. Still kept your shot rock at the back of the button. And pretty tough for Dunstone to get rid of it right now. Yeah, you got to like your position, I think, if you're Rylan Kleiter at this point. And so sliding back into the picture here. Dunstone playing our end with a far more rocks in play than I think he was planning in the 7th end.
I can see Colton Lott at the other end, kind of just squinting, trying to make sense of it. Oh, if I squint my eyes just a little harder, there's a double there on the yellows. Yeah. which there is. You can move 2 yellows. I'm not sure you can remove 2 yellows, but
yeah.
Colton's had a pretty strong game. He's going to be pretty motivated to leave his skip a better scenario than they've been leaving Matt the last few ends. Really fortunate in the 6th end that Matt had an in off, but it's quite a few ends in a row that Dunstone's had some tough looks.
Are they looking at an out-turn draw here? Or is this a hit and roll to that spot? Are they thinking?
Not sure, Jim. We can't really hear the athletes. All we have is broom taps to go off of.
Yeah, I'm going to play the out-turn draw.
Yeah, they're all in now, Jim.
Yeah.
This shot, if missed, is going to leave an opportunity to lie 3 or 4 in the rings for Kleiter. So the stakes are high.
It's Colton Lott, the massive shot here in number 7. EJ Harden on this. Kind of a heavy cleaning almost. Going a little harder now. Looks like it's going to be very close.
Yeah, weight looks really nice. That's a huge call and make from Team Dunstone. Great sweep, great throw by Colton, and a brave call by Matt. So excellent bounce back. That's going to eliminate a lot of danger for Not sure if the audience could hear my cat just screaming for food, but yeah, really good scenario for Team Dunstone now. That's going to effectively eliminate the risk of that Kleiter stone on the wing counting. And it's also going to eliminate the risk of one shot getting rid of the red stones. You're going to need 2 shots to get rid of those.
So looking for a little bit of a tap for Kleiter. He's probably going to line up the reds even a little better on the outturn side, but you got to play something here. So he's going to choose to play just a little tap on the yellow. We've got to go. Got to go really hard.
Yeah, this has got to be in a frozen scenario. Wide open, or sorry, on its own isn't good enough. Almost gets it there, Jim.
Yeah.
Still a somewhat useful stone. I feel like you had to separate those reds, though, with that one.
Yeah, just a little late for Josh Mattern on that one.
Oh, sorry, Connor. Just checking in on the chat. We have broken the 2K. We got 2,124 watching now. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Like I think that's Jerry on the chat in the Curling Zone account. When you hit the like and subscribe button, that actually does help us out a lot. It shows YouTube that people want to see live curling streaming. It helps us out with our advertising metrics as well. And as you all know, anything we make from those advertising metrics, we put right back into the product. Better cameras, more microphones, more people producing the games. So every way you're able to help us out, we're going to give back to you in more live curling, following your favorite teams throughout the tour season. Just want to shout out a few people in the chat. So we got Louisa Caniff. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that last name. Watching in Sudbury. Great curling town, Sudbury, home of world champion Tracy Fleury and brothers Tanner and Jacob, playing so well here on Team Epping. That's right, Louise. Team Epping is having a great weekend, and they're looking to keep rolling here.
So Matt's Dunstone with his first here in the 7th.
Yeah, really interesting end in the 7th, Jim. Both teams sense some opportunity here.
Yeah, been far more auction play than I ever envisioned would happen in the 7th end here.
Yeah, Team Dunstone decided right away that they were going to play a hard force, and they've followed through on that.
Just playing a guard here for Dunstone. Well, I don't think you took the draw away, to be honest, or the little tap away. I could go right through that port.
I think you're right. It'll be a pretty sharp angle, though, Jim. Like, is it going to roll off of that top red and get second shot? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think there's a good chance. It doesn't have to roll very far.
The other question would be, you have 2 stones left, Jim. So if you ever had any dreams of kind of counting the other yellows in the rings, you got to start getting rid of reds right now. So you can see Matt Hall, he's motioning with his broom. He wants to throw an angle run back. Get rid of at least one of those reds in the side of the forefoot, because you just have so many orbiting stones of your Team Kleiter. You'd be tempted to make sure that you're giving yourself a chance to count those.
So the angle run back, like on which rock? The rock that's way out there by wire form?
Yeah, sending a yellow into kind of the pile, like making sure that it either contacts the top yellow or the side of the yellow on the top of the forefoot. Get rid of one of those reds. I mean, it's a moot point. They have the broom down for the tap. So they have decided that it's going to be more worth it to chase the forefoot right now. But you'd see Matt was suggesting, let's say, the run back.
Yeah.
Looks like ice for about hack weight, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, hack or just under that, yeah. If there's a problem with this shot, is that you might possibly leave some kind of hit through the hole with weight from Matt Dunstone. Was he going to get by here? Got to get by.
Looks a little light.
He's
a little
by.
light to me.
They don't have to hit it for hard. Oh, man, that's so close.
It was a bit of a wasted effort. I mean, for how close it was, it's not going to help them out very much.
No, I agree.
See, that's why I really like the angle run back, Jim. One, it keeps the dream alive of counting those yellow stones on the side of the 8-foot. And 2, it leaves a bit of an easier shot on your next one. Matt Dunstone was going to have a tough time getting to the forefoot or even removing 2 yellow stones without losing one of his reds, even if you left it wide open for him.
Yeah.
So just another reason I like that angle run back. I should clarify, though, we don't know anything. We're just fans watching the game. These are the best curlers in the world. Everything they do is for a reason. And we're just having fun speculating. So don't think I'm telling these guys what to do. I'm watching and having fun.
And we're getting some credit on the YouTube from a couple of recent chats too, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. So I got Smog watching from Michigan. Love our American viewers. Pat Collins watching from Kingston, Ontario, and Janice watching from Mexico. That's enough out of you, Janice. It's so cold in Saskatchewan right now. Don't brag.
Dunstone's biggest concern here is trying to make sure that he covers any possible multi-point score. He's more than okay with just giving up the 1. He's looking at the one that Matt was looking at, thinking that maybe we want to do something with this stone.
Yeah, how does Kleiter score 2 right now? It's really challenging even to do that. So if I'm Matt Dunstone, I don't want to change too much right now. The angles are not very favorable for Team Kleiter. It's going to be a lot of work to score 2. I don't really see a shot for 3. And you're 2 points up, and even if Kleiter makes a really impressive shot for 2, you're going to be tied with Hammer in the last end. So I'd be hesitant to change too much right now. But with ice for some weight, Matt disagrees.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like if you peel this out of there, then Kleiter does have a draw to the very edge of the button for 2, where right now he only has a shot through the hole, which I guess could still be for 2, but neither one of them is easy. I guess you can still get to that one.
What they're trying to make contact with here. Like, that's ice right down the center of the rock.
I think he's just peeling that yellow out. I really do. I think that's what the shot's going to be. It's just, but I might be wrong. Maybe he's throwing something else, but he's throwing a hit of some kind at least. I'm not sure this isn't going to make the shot a little easier for. It does obviously takes the run back out, but might make everything else a little bit easier for.
Straight run back on the 2 yellows. Yeah, I don't know. Don't get it. I'm sure there was a reason. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear them explain the thought process behind that one, because I as a curling fan, I just love to learn what they were seeing there.
Yeah. So I think,
is there a way to remove those two reds? I don't think there is. Maybe if the guards weren't there, Jim, you could maybe bash that top yellow one into the two reds and just kind of hope and pray that the top red spins out.
Goes far
But there
enough.
is guards in the way. So I'm not even sure if that's possible.
There's a couple options for scoring too. But
yeah,
you could play that same little tap you just tried. Basically, you just come by the guard, just tap it, score 2. I don't see it ever turning into 3. You can't throw it hard enough to turn 3, I don't think. You could come off that outside one for 2 as well. I don't see anything in the front that's going to go the right way. Unless we see I don't know if there's a way to get that, the two that are sort of frozen together. If you run one of the high ones into that, does it ever come back and double off the reds? I don't know.
Yeah, like with the yellow being just underneath the top red, Jim, like once it contacts, it's going to go kind of downwards. It's tough for me to describe the motion, but yeah, maybe there is a world where it at least contacts both reds. And if you throw it hard enough, like you say, you never know what might happen. The question right now is, how do you make it pop? Like, there's only red guards to run back, and that's unfortunate. They kind of, I guess that's what Dunstone must have been thinking. The only way that they score a bunch is if they run this yellow guard back into something. So maybe Dunstone the idea was just to take away that yellow rock to run back. And that actually makes a lot of sense now that I say it out loud.
I don't know if you're playing the in off of this yellow, if you come off onto your own, can you possibly spin it and the shooter into the 4 foot closer than the other one? I don't know.
The way Matt's lining this up, I think they're just going for 2. I think this is just a sort of chip and roll for 2, and especially with that broom. Oh, in the hack, through it.
Making it curl a little more. They need it to curl a little bit more.
Yeah, and there we go.
It's a great
shot from Rylan.
Well, I tell you, Rylan's been impressive. Been really impressive. Great shot for Rylan Kleiter to get his deuce and tie this one up, going to the 8th and most likely final end here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown A qualifier game. We'll be back right after the break.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
in this game between Rylan Kleiter from Saskatoon and Matt Dunstone from Winnipeg in the A qualifying game of the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here at the Swift Current Curling Club. Rylan Kleiter, nice comeback, Rory.
Yeah, it's been a great game to watch. And you remember back in the third end when I said this was for the game? Well, he didn't score his 3, got 2 points, went up 4. And, a team like Dunstone, you think they'd just stay in the driver's seat the whole game. But Team Rylan Kleiter refusing to go away. They have taken the initiative every single end since then. Every single end, Rylan Kleiter has been putting the game on the line. And every single end, they've got a decent result out of it. So looking to put one more big end together as Team Rylan Kleiter to complete this comeback in the A qualifier.
Yeah, they've got to feel, even if they don't pull this one out, they've got to feel pretty good about the result, playing one of the very top teams in the world and where they're at in this one. And they certainly have a definite chance at stealing a point here, especially given that, what we've seen with Matt so far. And I don't doubt his abilities, but he just hasn't really proven in this game that he's got a feel for draw weight at all. So a little tippy-tap shot here for Rylan Kleiter. Second stone, Matt Hall, who has had excellent draw weight all game. I apologize in advance if that turns out to be some sort of a jinx, but gotta call it.
Matt Hall's made some really nice freezes this game so far. They're going to ask one more big draw out of him. He has had some rocks like really, really over curl though. So I'm wondering if they're dealing with, some sharper rocks or something, because even this one is really taking off.
They got to sneak this by. They will, but
massive sweep. Like I can't overstate how big that sweep is. To tick your own center guard off and leave a split guard would almost kill the end. So massive sweep from Josh Mattern there to keep that rock on the good side of the guard.
Just barely skinnies by that. Well done.
Okay, 5 rocks down the sheet. It's time to peel.
EJ Harnden is getting it started. Going to get 1, 2. It's rid of all the sandbags.
When you're playing with hammer in an end like this, you have to make a double at some point. You got to make a double peel or, at some point 2 rocks have to leave. And to make it that early on is such a confidence boost for the team. Now, for the rest of Dunstone's rocks, they know making 1 rock go away is going to be enough to leave a shot for Matt on his last one. So, huge shot from EJ Harden, and it's going to go a long way for them.
Seen EJ make a lot of those over the years. Pretty much a career second stone guy, or at least in the part of the career that I've seen him play, he's been a career second stone guy, which is most of it. Sweeper's going hard on this. Get it to the center. Good shot. Going to be a series of peels here. I'm not quite sure how at the end Rylan's going to manage to maneuver himself into shot rock, but they'll be thinking about that for the next 5 minutes or so until we get there. EJ Harnden looking to peel again. Ooh, almost on the nose, but you throw it that hard, almost turns into a 7-foot roll away. Another guard going up now from Joshua Mattern for Team Kleiter.
Yeah, it's this kind of guard and peel dance that we see in these late ends all the time. Both teams just trying to advance the end towards the more consequential shots and skip stones. So I bet we'll see at least 2 more guards just like this. Feels like a good time to check the chat and see who's tuning in. Brian Gooden watching from Nanaimo, BC. Loves being able to access live curling. Thanks for tuning in, Brian. Dave Schmel, one of our commentators, kind of taking over the chat. Chill out, Dave. You got your own game coming up this afternoon. You guys can tune in to listen to Dave Schmel commentate the the next draw this afternoon, B qualifiers.
Good peel there for Colton Lott. One more time.
Yeah, it'll be another guard, another peel. And then those two really good Dunstone rocks on the button. It's going to be a challenge for Team Kleiter to manipulate those in a way that's going to leave a tough shot for Matt. And even just to get shot rock's going to be a bit of a challenge. Angles aren't very good for Team Kleiter right now.
No, that's what I've been looking at, trying to think in my mind how to do that. And I think I've decided you're going to have to play a nose hit tap on your yellow to move something back a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but you got to do something. You can't do it in one shot. That's the problem.
Here, I'll wait till we see the rings again. But I think that there's an intern kind of tap and roll where you might be able to get shot on the outside red. I don't know. I could be wrong. No, I think you can get to the nose of that red on the T line. Give it a little poke and maybe get shot rock on the side of the button there.
Oh, yeah. I think you can get shot rock.
It's just going to be such an easy hit for Dunstone.
Well, yeah, without a guard out there, that's the problem, right? So, but having said that, Dunstone might decide to go there. Don't do that, I don't think.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in again. We're at 2,500 viewers. Wow, just so humbling. Thanks for tuning into Curling Stadium, supporting what we do. And it's only early afternoon on Sunday. We still got some great games, men's and women's, to come today. So I hope everyone's got their popcorn ready and they got nothing on the calendar. It's going to be a full day of watching curling.
Well,
so is now the time, Jim, to make a move?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's the shot I was talking about. And the other shot, and I'm sure they'll tap it as well, is the one that Rory just mentioned. That would be the intern sort of gentle tap on that red one to maybe roll an inch of your rock or 2 inches of your rock behind the red. You would be shot rock. I don't know which one's better. I'm going to go with this one for now and see. I think my theory, I guess, in my mind is if you can get straight on your yellow, just tap it back to the back of the button, see what Dunstone decides to do with it. It would be interesting because there would be a possibility of a jam. And you wouldn't be shot rock. He may decide not to do anything with it. I'm not sure, but that's the only thing I can see as a possible steal here for Kleiter.
Yeah, I think just keeping your shooter on the high side and setting up a jam. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So Rylan Kleiter. There's almost deserves a win in this one, but coming back from where they did, but Dunstone's probably not going to be quite agreeable to that. This might be a little light.
No, it's been Dunstone's best end, this eighth end. The whole team's playing very well. And that double peel by EJ went a really long way. Over curls slightly, not going to create a pocket in the back of the button. That was the most important part of that shot.
Yeah.
And the jams aren't really beneficial for Kleiter. So missed opportunity, but it was a tall ask.
Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, the way they lined up now, there's just not really. I don't know if there's anything. I guess there's maybe that out turn. I don't know. I'm not sure that I can see a way that Kleiter can be shot rock after this next shot, even if Dunstone doesn't throw it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. I don't see how Kleiter gets in there. You want to do something, though, the famous Kevin Martin just throw it away moment. You think you're safe, and then something happens where you're not so safe. So I think you'll see Dunstone take something on here. I doubt they'll throw it into the boards, but that is tempting, Jim.
Well, I thought they might play the double peel or the double takeout on the yellows, and that looks like what they're going to do.
Pretty important to roll your shooter off. You don't want your shooter to stick around in the top of the rings.
Well, exactly. And that's the problem because you're probably losing one of your reds on this shot as well. And if you end up staying right there or just on the center line somewhere, Kleiter comes around it, taps the red that's on the right hand side of the button back, and all of a sudden you might have a much more difficult shot than you should have to win this game.
Yeah, there might be some kind of angle on the low yellow.
Yeah,
for
that's what I
Kleiter.
mean. Yeah.
Geez, though, it's losing one of your reds is not super attractive either, because a perfectly fine strategy for Kleiter is just to lie 2 in the rings and make Dunstone either hit or draw.
Yeah.
Make a specific hit and roll or make a draw to the forefoot for the win. Like, that's a satisfying result for Team Kleiter as well. So you don't want to help them out too much.
No.
Both of these yellows have to leave the rings, in my mind, if you're playing this shot.
And I think they will. If you hit this right on the nose, though, I think that your shooter stays right there, obviously. The 2 yellows and 1 red go, but the red at the back stays as well, which means all of a sudden Kleiter has an opportunity, but that's all predicated on this hitting it on the nose. And that's not what he's going to do, but I'll tell you.
I was going to say, a pretty shaky delivery, Jim. Like, he kind of wobbled coming out of the hack. I've seen that a few times from Matty this week. And you know what? He's on a weird little streak. I don't know if anyone saw that social media video from the Grand Slam of Curling where he just completely bit it coming out of the hack. Like, totally flopped and had to throw the rock from his stomach. Earlier this week, I think it was on Thursday, Matt took a really nasty fall on the ice. He stayed down for a few minutes, kind of hurt his knee a little bit. So Matt's on a bit of a nasty streak of falling over in the hack. Back to the situation in the house, Jim. I don't think that made it better. I think that made it worse.
Oh, it definitely made it better because I don't think Kleiter had a shot if he doesn't throw that. So now you're going to have a shot to sit a couple, and who knows? I don't like the angle raise on the yellow that they're talking about. I think they're thinking they can angle raise it, take it out, sit there, and be both 2 rocks fully touching the forefoot. But do you not just come down to this and just barely touch it back and get right there?
Yeah, you got to think so. Well, I mean, you have to be shot rock at the end of this. So that red one's got to move a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, like, it depends what you're hoping for. A totally fine strategy is just to hit this, roll to the side of the forefoot. That's exactly where Josh Mattern tapped his broom, and just force Dunstone to make his last shot.
Yeah.
Hit the stone exactly where he needs to, or to draw the forefoot. It's a tie game scenario. It's not a scenario where you're going to go to an extra end if you steal one. This is a tie game where, Matt's got to make his last one or it's game over. So you got to be satisfied knowing that. Just make Matt's shot as tough as possible. And what's the way to do that? Is it a little tap back or is it a roll to the side of the forefoot? I'd be going to the side of the forefoot.
Well, we'll see here. Rylan Kleiter doesn't have a ton of ice, so I don't.
The last tap was the hit and roll, so I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
I think this one's going to have to curl a bit, if I'm not mistaken, by watching the delivery. But
yeah, definitely carve sweeping. You want to keep this thing around side of the forefoot. It's going to roll a little too far, and that means a hit and stick on the remaining yellow on the forefoot is going to do the trick for Matt Dunstone.
Yeah, a little late on the brooms on that. From what I saw, it definitely looked to me like he'd kind of set it out a little bit. So I thought they'd have to get on a little bit sooner than that.
Yeah, keeping in mind, Jim, for a carve sweep, you have to wait for the rock to naturally break itself. You can't just steer it right out of their hand. So I bet they knew that they had to make it curl. They're just kind of waiting for Matt Hall's call. That it had sort of reached the break point and that they could start to carve it.
So last rock coming here for Matt Dunstone. As we say, definitely not going to be a blank. That pretty basic shot. Don't have to overthrow this. Sweepers will be able to hold it. Hit it on the nose, score your one, and move on to the playoffs.
Just want to say before we sign off, thank you so much to our viewers for making it really fun in the chat today. Thanks for all the compliments and participating. It was a great fun game to have with you fans. Here we go, Jim.
Yeah.
This is a nervy shot. Dunstone a few ends ago, maybe an hour ago, wasn't thinking he'd have to face, maybe throw his last rock in the 8th end, but here he is, needing a hit and stick for the win.
On its way, Ryan Harden doing a little work on it.
Really nice control weight, letting
Yeah.
the sweepers do their thing. That was a smart throw.
Perfect weight for that shot. So a great shot by Matt Dunstone and a great game, really. And congrats to both teams. Certainly to the Kleiter team as well. They did an amazing job getting back to 6-6 in this game. So congrats to them. They will drop down now, just play a B qualifier probably shortly. And we had a good game, Roy. I think it turned into a really good game for one that we thought might be going to get away early, and that didn't happen. So we're pleased with that. So thanks to everyone. Had a great game here. Grade A qualifier, 2 grade A qualifiers, really. And we will sign off for now. I'm Jim Nix for Rory McCusker, for Connor Sims and Jerry Gertz rather. We'll say goodbye for now from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. And we will be back with you again probably in about a half an hour. Thanks very much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Repping game. You're doing the production. Kaylee doing the camera. Is it Kaylee? Is that how she pronounce it? Guess you're not there.